co-chairs Ross Gallinson, Mandy Corman, distinguished guest speaker, Asaf Romanowski, and Israel Bond Committee members, family, and guests. Elaine and I wish to thank you not only for selecting us for the covet of this occasion, but for permitting us to be the focal point and hopefully catalyst for our temple members, family, and friends to buy Israel bonds this year. Israel has always held and will continue to hold a special place in our hearts. To all, thank you for coming out and being here. To Dr. Romanowski, thank you for an enlightening and inspiring talk. It's indeed a special recognition because also 17 years ago, we were also chosen for this honor. Then we spoke about how the monies raised via bond drives permitted Israel to become not only an outstanding leader in technology and science, but to also become self-sufficient, an ability to stand on its own 2 feet in the world arena and not become a client state dependent on the whims of its purse holders. Bond monies help stabilize Israel's infrastructure, permitting it to successfully absorb immigrants from Ethiopia and Russia. Politics and BDS aside, developing nations today still look to Israel for assistance and answers to their growing and development problems. Tonight, I'd like to touch on how our bond monies have helped Israel to help us here in the United States. The American-Israel relationship is a two-way street. Israel is not only our spiritual home, but our home away from home. As Yoram Ettinger, a former Israeli ambassador and advisor on U.S.-Israel relations, noted, in the military arena, U.S. battle tactics formulated at Fort Leavenworth and used in the Middle East are primarily based on the Israeli playbook. U.S. Special Forces use Israel as a training ground. The U.S. Corps of Engineers has built a complete, not a Hollywood front, but a complete Mideast town, complete with mosque, street lights, electricity, cars, both wrecked and otherwise, for training purposes. And it is located in the Negev, not too far from an Israeli base, and is maintained by both the U.S. Army and the Israeli IDF. The Israeli flare system was used to detect, which is used to direct income airborne missiles, and which I understand is equipped on all Israeli aircraft, which gives you that nice, warm, safe, secure feeling. Was used by U.S. gunships in Vietnam and helped save the lives of many airship pilots. The current F-16 fighter plane includes over 700 Israeli-originated modifications. You can say that Israel is the most cost-effective, battle-tested laboratory for the U.S. defense industry. And the U.S. industry has saved lots of money by relying on Israeli innovations. The late Secretary of State, General Alexander Haig, described Israel as the largest U.S. aircraft carrier, which doesn't require a single American boot aboard. On the economic and medical side, we all know what Israel has provided to make our smartphones smart. But did you know that Israeli researchers have just developed a synthetic polymer that will allow smartphones to heal any scratches or damages? Now, I just can't wait for them to apply them to our cars. Facebook's safety check, which saw a lot of play with the terrorist attacks in Europe, was developed in Israel. Israel recycles 85% of its wastewater and is working with California as well as other countries such as Brazil to overcome water shortages. Finally, Israeli researchers have just developed a method to diagnose diabetes, MS, pancreatic cancer, among other ailments, from a single blood test, which should be quite useful once it's applied. Our bond monies, I believe, by helping provide financial support to Israel, have helped make all of this and much more possible. Elaine and I would like to thank you for your generosity and support this evening, and to our daughters Michelle and Deborah, who, though they couldn't be here, have made it a point to tell us that they are buying bonds in our honor. We also appreciate and thank those who couldn't be here, but who told us they have either already purchased bonds or will, or planning to do so. Last but not least, heartfelt thanks to Charlie Zareski for setting up the beautiful desserts that we're all going to partake of, and to Noel and Rohan for the behind-the-scenes work for the evening. Again, I want to thank you all for being here, and thank you again for the honor.